A wound can be eloquent, but it cannot testify to everything. In this lecture, we will ask what injury characteristics may establish about mechanism, fatality, causation, and the circumstances of an attack, and where medical inference must stop. Our governing proposition is the phrase on the slide, "The wound is evidence, not a verdict." We will move from description to medical inference to evidentiary inference and finally to legal judgment. Each step adds information but also demands greater caution. Begin with the phrase objective finding. The type, location, dimensions, depth, direction, and damage structures. Next comes medical inference. What mechanism is compatible with those findings and whether the injury could explain disability or death. The final phrase is legal conclusion. Identity, intent, treachery, unlawful aggression or guilt. Notice the arrow. More evidence required. The further we move from the body, the more the analysis must incorporate testimony, scene evidence, conduct, and the governing law. A careful expert marks the boundary instead of crossing it silently. A defensible report starts with description. Type and location. Ask whether we are dealing with an abrasion, contusion, laceration, incised wound, stab wound, fracture, burn, or other trauma, and which anatomical region is involved. Dimensions and depth reminds us that skin length is not penetration depth. Direction and structures ask about the wound tract and injury to vessels, nerves, organs, or bone. The visual equation warns that small outside does not mean minor inside. A tiny external opening may conceal major internal damage. A dramatic superficial wound may not be life-threatening. Injury patterns can narrow the mechanism. The first phrase, blunt, includes abrasions, contusions, lacerations, fractures, and internal injury. Sharp includes incised and stab wounds. Projectile suggests penetrating injury with features requiring careful examination. But the line below is the discipline that matters. Compatible with is not caused by. A laceration may be compatible with a metal pipe, yet also with a fall against a hard edge. A stab wound may be compatible with a knife, but ordinarily cannot identify one particular knife by appearance alone. State alternatives when they remain medically reasonable. Location and direction may support an inference about direction of forced relative movement and compatibility with competing accounts. But human encounters are dynamic. Suppose a witness says the victim was struck from behind while the principal wound is anterior. That inconsistency deserves investigation, but it does not automatically prove falsehood. The victim may have turned, fallen, or received more than one impact. Medical evidence often works best as corroborative or contradictory evidence, not as a complete reconstruction. The proper conclusion may be that one account is less compatible, not that medicine has conclusively reconstructed every position and movement. Injuries on the hands and forearms may support shielding or grasping. A person raised an arm, deflected the weapon, or reacted protectively. But absence proves little. A victim may have been surprised, restrained, incapacitated, or simply unable to react in a way that left recognizable marks. Finally, aggressor is a legal issue. Defense type wounds describe a possible reaction. They do not, by themselves, identify the unlawful aggressor or establish self defense. The medical label and the legal conclusion remain separate. The illustration is intentionally non graphic because the concept is protective positioning, not spectacle. The precise question is written on the slide. Would the injury without timely effective intervention be sufficient to cause death? The answer must rest on anatomy. Which vital structure was damaged? Physiology. What functional failure followed? And the natural course. What would medically occur without effective treatment? The final phrase is equally important. Hospitalization alone does not answer the question. Surgery, emergency care, or length of stay can show seriousness, but none automatically proves that death would otherwise have resulted. This distinction matters when separating physical injuries from attempted or frustrated homicide or murder under Article 6. Peñaranda teaches why medical precision changes legal classification. First, fatality not established. The prosecution did not prove that the wounds would have caused death without medical intervention. Second, intent to kill not established. The court evaluated the weapons, wounds, conduct, and circumstances, including that the aggressor stopped and left while nothing prevented them from continuing. The result shown on the right was a change from attempted murder to serious physical injuries. The decision also discussed spontaneous desistance. The broader lesson is not that severe-looking wounds are unimportant. It is that neither fatality nor intent may be assumed from appearance alone. For physical injuries under Articles 263 to 266, the physician is most useful in reporting impairment and prognosis, a supportable period of healing or incapacity, and the anatomical and functional consequences of the trauma. Intent and circumstances, however, require the whole evidentiary record. The lower visual states the division of labor. Medicine explains what happened to the body, while law determines what offense is proved. A certificate should not merely declare serious, less serious, or slight. It should supply the clinical facts that allow the court to apply the statutory consequences and duration thresholds. Article 4 may impose liability even when the wrongful act differs from what was intended, but the causal connection must still be proved. Follow the chain: assault, injury, complication, outcome. Identify the immediate cause directly producing the condition or death, the antecedent cause that contributed earlier, and any intervening event occurring later. Medical treatment does not automatically break the chain. Ask whether the original trauma remained an operative cause, whether complications naturally followed, or whether a genuinely independent event better explains the result. The closing phrase is the warning. After is not necessarily because of. Temporal sequence is not medical causation. Lastimosa prevents the opposite error, treating one missing medical document or witness as automatically fatal to the case. The court considered other competent evidence proving death and the circumstances of the killing. It also held that a duplicate may be admissible to the same extent as the original unless authenticity is genuinely questioned or admission would be unfair. But remember the third phrase. Admissibility is not weight. A document may enter the record yet carry limited persuasive force depending on authentication, completeness, and context. Medical evidence is powerful, but the rules of evidence evaluate the whole competent record. Close every injury analysis with wound. W for wound. Describe type, location, dimensions, depth, direction, and structures. O refers to origin. Identify reasonable mechanisms. U for ultimate consequence. Determine disability, life threat, or fatality and its medical basis. N refers to nexus. Connect the trauma to the complication, disability, or death. And finally, D refers to do not overreach. Reserve identity, intent, credibility, treachery, unlawful aggression, and guilt for the evidence and the court. Our path is written below. Finding, medical inference, evidentiary inference, legal conclusion. The body informs judgment. It does not replace it.